Welcome to our Photo Studio Rig tutorial. Today, we'll get you familiar with the key components of Photo Studio Rig, covering backdrop settings, camera controls, lighting techniques, and achieving the ideal render. Let's get started. Your workflow is essential. Begin by creating a new document and setting up a new Photo Studio Rig. If you've installed our software according with the installation tutorial, you should find the Photo Studio Rig icon either on your custom layout or in the asset browser. Always save this new document with a relevant name in the appropriate project folder. Next, you can either start modeling in this document or merge your existing projects. Merging often helps keep things tidy. Throughout this tutorial, our main focus will be our hero object. To position it, you can either place it manually or use the transfer tool if its main axis is set correctly. This ensures precise placement at the target null object's location. Once placed, you can toggle off the annotation tag visibility of the target null in the viewport. Let's begin by refining our backdrop. Right now, the backdrop is rather small for our intended scene. So let's dive into the Attributes panel and take advantage of the parametric design of the backdrop. The sliders have a limited range because Photo Studio Rig is optimized for smaller objects. However, for those bigger items or scenes, you can bypass these slider constraints. Simply drag to the right or left within the number input, or, if you prefer precision, type in your exact desired value. One of the features of this backdrop design is that its dimensions, be it size, width, height, or length, are altered proportionally with just one slider. This ensures seamless adaptability to the most common requirements of studio photography. We can similarly tweak the backdrop's curvature, just as we adjusted its dimensions. Either use the sliders or type in your preferred number. What's neat about the curvature rig is that it's crafted to respect our earlier backdrop tweaks. It solely modifies the curvature radius, ensuring everything else remains undisturbed. Let's delve into setting up the camera. Our camera setup is unique. It operates within its own sub-rig, consisting of the camera itself, a focus object, and a pivotal target object. This target object is integral. Think of it as the anchor in our camera sub-rig. Start by adjusting the camera's distance, height, and focus depth to ensure our main subject is entirely framed. Conveniently, the attribute panel sliders, which you might remember from the backdrop setup, will assist you here. While today's tutorial won't delve deeply into these, it's good to know you can pan the camera for some rotation, truck it side to side, or swivel it around our sub-rig's anchor, the target object. These features are not just for positioning, they're instrumental for animation creation too. For those looking to experiment with depth, the focus object is key. It lets you control which portions of your scene remain sharp or blurred. And there's more on this topic later. Additionally, a nifty built-in light ensures our hero stands out perfectly when needed. Now, onto lighting with tripod lights. Our tripod lights are designed to resemble their real-world counterparts. They're versatile, allowing adjustments in position, size, direction, and focus. Switch on the right tripod light. You'll observe that it's currently too diminutive and too central. Adjust its position and dimensions, similar to how we did with our earlier subjects. It's worth noting the light size is currently locked in a square dimension, with the height value superseding the depth. You can either maintain this locked dimension or modify each as required. Unlike the orbital lights, discussed in other tutorials, tripod lights never touch the floor. By default, the light aims at its central target. However, you have the option to align the target horizontally with the light's center, resulting in perfectly parallel lighting for our hero object. Adjusting the target's height can override this. Each light, mirroring the camera setup, resides in its individual sub-rig. To get a better grasp, initiate the IPR. Next, set up the left tripod light similarly to the right one. Okay. Let's play with synchronization. The Synchronize Teaks option allows us to do some adjustments in tandem. In this example, we'll start by adjusting the light's rotation around our hero object. We can also distance them evenly or adjust their distance from the floor at the same time, and choose to sync the height position of their targets or just let them be. Remember that the option to alight targets horizontally with the center of the light will override the latter option. In our case, we'll choose to rotate the light symmetrically to further art direct the lights. Each light has a set of different textures, besides the option of plain light, that can be used in a series of different ways. Let's choose one of the softbox options. With light textures we can tile them either horizontally and vertically, independently or uniformly. In this case we'll create an even grid and adjust the light color. When lock grid is checked, the value of grid X will override the value of grid Y. Now let's art direct the other light, this time choosing a different texture and color. Notice you can change the orientation of the texture from vertical to horizontal, and vice versa, effortlessly. In this case we'll uncheck lock grid. And remember, light intensity adjustments are pivotal to perfecting your scene. Now let's tweak our scene a little bit more. With synchronized tweaks we can adjust everything to get a better perspective of our hero object, without rotating or moving our object and without repositioning every other object in the rig. Just go to the studio options, and choose to rotate either just the backdrop and camera or lock the lights to rotate with it. In our case we'll lock the lights to the rotation of the studio. Fine-tune the camera and lights for the best results. Synchronized tweaks offer a world of versatility. Introducing the auxiliary light, a circular light that comes packed with versatile features. While we'll be detailing its functions along with the top light in forthcoming tutorials, let's focus on its immediate setup for our current scene, particularly since our object's front appears slightly underlit. Begin by adjusting the auxiliary light's position and size. Its distinct round shape is evident on the car's front bumper. Now, let's delve into some creative direction. Select its texture, color, and intensity to achieve the desired illumination effect. As you make these changes, you'll notice varying patterns emerging on the bumper. To best leverage the chosen texture, fine-tune the light's position accordingly. Let's establish the basics for the top light, with a comprehensive exploration of its features reserved for upcoming tutorials. One standout feature is the ceiling tiling option. Opting for this ensures the light shape maintains a perfect square ratio between its length and depth, based on the division of its length. This is particularly beneficial for achieving uniform light patterns using the available textures. By choosing ceiling tiling, note that the depth value will be overridden. Moreover, the repetitions by length in the texture options will be replaced by the repetitions by depth number, resulting in an immaculate square grid of lights. Always remember to adjust the top light's elevation from the floor. Let's refine the backdrop by adjusting its color and glossiness. Remember, glossiness impacts only the horizontal surface, not the vertical aspect. Now, let's jump quickly to the synchronized tweaks options to add some environment to the scene. Here, we can define which light, or lights, contribute to the environment fog and how much. Finally, let's take of the depth of field and then adjust the post effects and options for the final render. The camera rig has a focus object, so we can adjust which parts of the object or scene are in or out of focus. Just adjust the distance of the focus object in the slider. This distance is relative to the center of the scene. And then, combine the previous changes with the aperture value. Once rendered, enhance your image further using your preferred image processing software. Thank you for joining us. We hope this tutorial helps you make the most of Photo Studio Rig. Happy rendering!